Alright, y'all, time to build literally the coolest log cabin anyone in Minecraft has ever seen. Here I go. Okay, I'll just... Poof. I will start... Well, crap. Building is fundamental in the game of Minecraft. Obviously, the block system allows for endless possibilities, but it's hard to visualize and motivate your building when you're stuck placing one cube at a time. A large project can feel too overwhelming to even start, while a smaller project may feel basic or uninspired. Planning and starting a build are actually some of the hardest steps, but if you do them correctly, you'll find that the rest of the project will be much easier and way more fun. Welcome to Soulcraft's Build Academy, where today, I'm going to give you the tools to level up your building skills before you even place the first block. Number 1. Familiarize yourself with every block. If you're like me, then you've been playing Minecraft for a while, and if you've ever taken a break from Minecraft, then you understand how overwhelming the game can be when you pick it back up. It feels like every update completely changes the game and adds an impossible amount of items. So if you miss a few updates, you're coming back to a whole new catalog of building materials. That's why, before you build anything, you should go through the creative inventory and familiarize yourself with anything you don't recognize. Even if you never use every block, as a builder, you need to know what is available to you. There are so many underrated items that can be used in a plethora of ways, and if you never even consider them as options, you really limit yourself and your build's potential. Number 2, use the natural landscape. Now to get to the actual builds. If you're building on a flat or simple landscape, it's really easy to make a flat or simple looking project, especially if you don't have a complete plan yet. If you want your build to feel more dynamic, or if you need some inspiration, use a more dynamic landscape. All of my favorite builds I've done were inspired by the land around them. If you follow the natural flow of the land, you'll automatically add so much more verticality and depth to your castle, village, or even your starter house. Number 3, look at real architecture. This one's pretty simple, but is something not enough people do. If you're trying to mimic a certain style of architecture, or you're just simply fresh out of ideas, go online and look at real buildings and structures. There are an endless number of real estate and historical websites that you can peruse to find inspiration. Most sites will actually give you multiple photos, floor plans, and even full virtual tours of buildings. In short, if you want a build to feel realistic, pull from real-life buildings. Number 4, make a backstory for each of your builds. Sure, you can just build a village with a library in it, or you can construct a long, isolated community with a dark secret to be uncovered from deep within the library catacombs. Giving your builds a backstory, even a very simple or general one, can add so much. Not only does it give you the opportunity to place more intention behind your details and to tell a story as someone moves through your build, but I find that a backstory can really help motivate and inspire me when I'm feeling burnt out. The feeling of, oh no, I have this big, empty, weird room I have to fill, becomes, well, I've decided Dracula loves beautiful things and gardening, so this can be his greenhouse. 5. Make a block or color palette. As a former art and design student and teacher, this one really took me way too long to start implementing. You want to think of each block in your build as a different color in your color palette, because that's what we're able to see once we get farther away from the build. From there, go back to your basic color theory. Use blocks whose colors complement each other. Focus on warm or cool tones. Find blocks similar in color to use in texture or shading. If you watch any of my long play or let's play videos, you'll see that the first thing I do before building is make a block palette that I can come back to. This helps me keep everything in my build cohesive and feel like it's coming from the same architect. Number 6, mark out the outlines of your builds. This one is self-explanatory, but also, shh, come in close. This is the advice I give that I use the least. even though I really should do it more. Mark the outlines of your builds. I cannot tell you how many times I've had to knock down a wall I just placed, adjust everything by one block, or even start a whole project over because I didn't mark the shape out on the ground first. This planning step may feel unnecessary, but trust me, it will save you so much time and stress in the long run. Number 7. Mix it up. I tend to stick to a darker color palette and draw from dark academia and gothic aesthetics. However, some of my favorite builds that I've done came from me stepping out of my comfort zone. Every once in a while, switch it up. Challenge yourself by building in a style you normally wouldn't. Try using a block palette made up of blocks and colors you never use. Give yourself the freedom to break the rules you tend to follow. You'll create something you never would sticking to your comfort zone, and it can be really fun. Which brings me to number 8, have fun. Now, this may seem like a cheap way for me to end the video. I mean, it's what's at the end of every single rules or tips list in the world. But in any resource management game, having fun is very important. Burnout is extremely common amongst Minecraft players, especially the builders, and we tend to fall into the sunk cost fallacy. If you've spent weeks working on one thing, you may have the thought, well, I've spent too much time and energy on this to stop and do something else, even if you really want to. No one is forcing you to power through and finish anything in Minecraft. At the end of the day, it's a game. And why play a game if you're no longer having fun? Give yourself permission to take breaks. Have multiple projects going so that if you start to burn out on one, you can switch to another that sounds more fun in the moment. Forcing yourself to finish something that you are no longer enjoying will only result in a project you resent and may turn you off of Minecraft altogether. Don't let this game become a chore. Hopefully, you find some use for one or all of these planning tips. As someone who likes to mostly wing it when building, I know I have. Let me know if you found this video helpful, if you have any questions, and what aspect of building I should cover next in these tutorial videos. Thank you so much for watching. Get out there and start building. Bye!